Hello. Welcome to Facebook Live with Evie, number 12, I believe. And today's topic is creating your ideal client or identifying your ideal client and how it affects your productivity. And I'd love to know if you want to share in the comments, one, if the video and the audio is syncing. If you can tell me that right away, that would be super helpful. I know I had that problem with the video last week, so let me know. And two, what questions do you have around your ideal client? Do you have any problems being really clear about who your ideal client is? That's what we're going to talk about today. And if you share in the comments, we can maybe work on that a little bit. So if you don't know me, my name is Evie Burke, and I work with women entrepreneurs, and I help them take their productivity to a new level so that at the end of the day, they can be fully present with the people that they love and not worrying about what needed to get done today that didn't get done and what has to be done tomorrow. They can just really be present with the people that they love. So, again, the topic is identifying ideal clients. If you see me looking down, it's probably because I'm looking at my notes. I always type up a few notes so that I know what I want to talk about and share with you today, or anytime I'm doing one of these. So, why you want to know who your ideal client is? How does that affect your productivity? In the email, in the blog post that I shared, when would that been? Monday. I shared, some of the ways that knowing your ideal client is super important. And that's because knowing who your ideal client is affects everything. It touches everything in your business. So when you're making a new decision about what to offer in your business, or if you want to tweak something, if you don't know who your ideal client is, you might be creating something that they don't want. If you can be super clear about who your ideal client is and look at what you're creating through that lens, then it makes everything so much easier. I remember when I was going through coaching training, and it was the last call that I had with my mentor coach. And the way that the mentor coach thing works is you actually coach them, and then at the end they give you feedback about what you can improve or what went really well. And they come to the call with something that they're actually going through in real time. At least that's what my mentor coach did. She was really great. And I remember her asking me, she was having a problem around what she wanted to write in a blog post. And she wasn't sure, which direction to take it. And so she wanted to talk about that. And the question that I asked her is, what do your ideal clients want to hear? What do they want to hear next? And she went, oh, that's a really good question. And she thought about it. And, she had been kind of leaning one direction about what she wanted to write. But when she looked at it through that lens, it changed how she wanted to approach what she was writing that week. Because it was what her ideal client wanted to read. It was what the people that she wanted on her blog reading what she was doing, it's what they wanted to hear. So that goes for even, deciding things like what project to work on next in your business, what your goals are going to be, where you're going to network. Your ideal client touches everything. Now, let's talk a little bit about who your ideal client isn't. And for those of you who don't know, for a while, I was a networking coach, and I worked with people on ideal clients and where to network and how to set up their elevator pitch. And one of the examples that is burned into my brain is the difference in Mary Kay consultants. And I'm guessing you know a Mary Kay consultant. I know a few. And the big difference between the person who said, I work with anyone with skin, and the person who was very specific about who they worked with. So the person who said, I work with anyone with skin, I had no idea who to refer her to. And I was also pretty sure, that my nephew, who at that time was, in his mid-teens, he had skin. He was not interested in Mary Kay, right? So knowing who to refer her to, or even how to help her in her business, and not from a coach standpoint, but just from another business owner standpoint of wanting to support, other business owners and refer and get to know what they do. I had no idea, how to help this woman or who to refer her to. Where there was another woman that I met about that same time who also sold Mary Kay, and I don't remember her name, but I remember this very, very clearly. She said that she worked with women who had gone through chemo. And I didn't know this, but when you are going through chemo and some of those cancer treatments, your skin becomes very sensitive. And so she specialized in working with women who had gone through this treatment and finding skincare and makeup that worked for them. And it hit me because an acquaintance of mine had recently passed away from cancer. And I thought, that's a fabulous thing. That's a fabulous service that she offers. And if I would have known anybody that was in that situation, I would have passed them her information right away and said, hey, if this is something you're interested in, this is who can help you with that. So when you're super clear about who you help, it doesn't only help your business, like your to-dos and your productivity, it also helps other people know who to refer you to and how they can help you. So also when you're that broad, it's impossible to narrow down what you should and shouldn't be doing based on your ideal client, because everyone's your ideal client. And the problem is clients aren't rain, all right? So it's not like you can, if you put a bigger container out in the yard and it rains, you get more water, and isn't that great? That's not how clients work. That's not how relationships work. When you can have your container be very specific, then the people who fit that description, they can find you more easily, right? Where when you have a big, huge container and you're collecting everyone, it takes a lot of work to figure out who are the people that are actually interested, right? So a twist on that is a twist on everyone is my client is, or anyone who has skin can be my client. The twist on that is different ways that you can position yourself. So Tastefully Simple. One of the ways I've seen a couple of people in Tastefully Simple, or maybe it's not Tastefully Simple, but in different party plan type businesses, is they say, do you need an excuse to get together with your girlfriends? This is a great excuse to invite your girlfriends over, have some fun. You don't have to worry about what you're going to do. Just invite them over. We'll take care of everything. And for some people, that's great, right? Because they're like, oh, I can have my friends over. I don't have to think about, which movie are we going to see, or what are we going to do? Which games are we going to play? Are we just going to hang out? I can just invite them here. We have an excuse to get together and chat and be with each other, right? And so if that's a core piece of your ideal client, then that's really helpful in, again, knowing how you want to present yourself, right? So for knowing your ideal client, if you are over in the Facebook group, actually, let me open. Oh, I'm on the wrong computer to do that too. I'll include that link later, so I'm not looking for it now. But if you're over in the Facebook group, I posted a question on Monday that really helps you narrow down who your ideal client is and really encourages you to think about who that is. And it's it seems really simple, but putting it all together can sometimes feel so difficult. So if you're not already a member of the Facebook group, head over to Productivity for Women Entrepreneurs. It's the Facebook group, search for it, and I'll include it in the comments here later since I don't have it open right now. And there's 2 challenges, one that I posted Monday and one that I'm going to post tomorrow. And the first one is thinking about the characteristics of your ideal client. And this includes the demographics, so it includes the age and the gender and the relationship status and kids and all of that, but it goes deeper. It's really about what makes your people. Who are they? Where are they in life? What do they like? What do they dislike? What do they want? Those are the things that you want to include. And if you head over, then well, before I get there, after you write those things out, those characteristics, then you're going to create a little bit of a narrative to really flesh that person out and describe who that person is. And I included mine. And one of the comments was, Evie, you win. You clearly know who your ideal client is. Yours doesn't need to be as long or as in-depth as mine. Yours can just be a paragraph. I've been doing this ideal client work for a very long time, and it's something I'm always thinking about and mulling over, and I look at it and I tweak it, as necessary. So I've done this exercise a few times, all right? So give yourself some leeway. If you're doing this exercise, it doesn't have to be perfect. Put together what you have, post it on the group, and I can help you kind of flesh that out a little bit in the group if you want some help with that. But take the time to do it, because it's super important to know who your ideal client is so that you can know how you want to work with them. So you know how you want your week to go, right? So if you know your ideal client, you know things like, when are they available to work with me? How do they want to work with me? What products or services support them? What are they looking for, right? And you know how to tweak what you're doing to share that. If you're looking for more marketing opportunities, when you're really clear on who your ideal client is, you can know, okay, if I want to be more online, where are they online? Do they hang out on Twitter? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Where are they hanging out? And it's super helpful so that you know where to go in your networking. So there's a story, and this wasn't a client of mine, but there's a story of a lawyer who was really frustrated and said, networking doesn't work because I network all these places, but I never get any referrals or any clients from it. And the person she was talking to said, well, where are you networking? And she says, oh, at the lawyer association, or wherever it was, where it's a bunch of lawyers together, and there was an event and she was networking with other lawyers. And they said, well, are you a lawyer for lawyers? Well, no. Maybe you should network where your clients are and not where other lawyers are. So, it helps identify where you want to network. It helps you know who else, what other services, what other products are they using. So you know who your joint partners are, your joint partners, joint ventures, power partners. There we go. Power partners are. It's just really super important. It touches everything. It helps you know when you get up in the morning and you realize that, something comes up and you have a half hour where you thought you had 3 hours to do something. You can look at your list and you can know, this is the thing that I really need to focus on for my business, because this is what the clients need right now, or the people that I want to work with need right now. All right. The other thing knowing your ideal client can help you with is knowing what to charge. And this is super important because if you want to be making money in your business, you want to know that your ideal clients are willing to pay what you want to charge. And this doesn't mean being super affordable necessarily. It means knowing what might be just outside their comfort zone and a stretch for them, and that might be good. Or depending on your business, maybe it is knowing this is their comfort zone, and so this is where I'm going to charge myself. This is how I'm going to charge. So, it touches everything. I could go on and on and on about this. I'm 15 minutes in, so I'm going to move on to the caveat. So, the caveat for knowing your ideal client and how it touches everything, there's actually two caveats. So the first one might be one that you've heard before, and that's watch your wording. So if you are writing out and talking about who your ideal client is, watch for words that might not be quite what you want. And what I mean by that is it's kind of, if you're including something like I work with people who are struggling with, it's great to know that. Watch the wording around that, because if you find yourself saying, I work with people who are struggling with XYZ, and then you're really frustrated by the amount of struggle that the people that are coming to you have, you might need to tweak the word. I was talking with a friend of mine who's a coach, and she was saying how she was using struggle, when she was thinking about her ideal clients. And the problem is the people that she was attracting were so in their struggle that it was difficult to work with them because everything was a struggle for them. So when she changed her wording and tweaked it a little bit, she started getting the people that she did really want to work with, people who are really willing to do the work and weren't in such a difficult place that it was hard for her to help them. So watch your wording. That's the first caveat. The second caveat that I don't think it gets mentioned maybe as much as it should is keep in mind your preferences. So your ideal client might want you available 24/7. However, your preference might not be to be getting text messages at 2 a.m., right? And just because your ideal client wants you available 24/7 does not mean that you need to be available 24/7, right? Your business not only serves your clients, your business serves you. So set your business up in a way that serves you. So know who your ideal clients are, know that they might want you available 24/7, and put those boundaries in place where you say, whether it's in a contract or in a phone call or however it is that you communicate your boundaries, you say, for my clients, you have my cell phone or whatever, if that's what you do. However, I'm generally not available until XYZ. And sometimes, and I think I talked about this last week too, sometimes boundaries are about how you respond. So if you don't want to be available at 2 a.m. and a client texts you at 2 a.m. and you wake up and you see it, boundaries are also not jumping at responding to that. I know for me, if I wake up at 2 a.m. and I see a text, I'm not going to answer it, not because I don't care about that client or that person who's texting me, unless it's like my mom or my sister or somebody, right, or a really close friend, but because I'm not awake at 2 a.m. and the thoughts that are coming out of my head might not be clear or for public consumption, right? I might be all over the place at 2 a.m. because I'm just waking up out of sleep, right? Preferences are, know how you like to work, know who you like working with, know who you don't like working with, and adjust your ideal client, how you talk about your ideal client as necessary, and adjust how you work with your ideal client as necessary. So you might look at your ideal client and say, they're going to want to talk to me every single week. And you might know that doesn't really work for my schedule and how I want to be working with people. So this is how I want to work. How can I structure that, or how can I make that change or offer that product in the way that works for me and it also works for them, right? So I know that's a lot of marketing, but so much of our to-dos are marketing, right? So much of what we decide to do every day and where we decide to show up and how we spend our time, it's marketing. And so it's super important to have the productivity part where you know that the things that you want to get done are going to get done, and to know that you're doing the right things, that you're serving the right people. So that's my bit on productivity and your ideal clients today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll come back and I'll see them and I'll answer them later. And again, I invite you to head over to the Facebook group, Productivity for Women Entrepreneurs, and join us over there, introduce yourself, and take a look at and I'll include the link for the challenge to take a look at the challenge and do the assignment and post your results, so that not only does it show us that you've done the assignment, but it also shares with other people who your ideal client is. And, the more you put out there, the better. One other thing I'm going to say here is, if you're joining Facebook groups, introduce yourself. And if you don't know how to talk about yourself, to introduce yourself, then spend some time to map out how you want that to be, because being able to talk about who we help and what we help them with ease and comfort, that's super important to having a business. So if that's something that you're struggling with a little bit, make a to-do about it. Post over in the group and we can help you with it too, or reach out to me. I'm happy to help with that. So again, my name is Evie Burke. Coming to an end, the 12th Facebook Live, which means I've been doing them for 3 months. Fabulous. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to support you, and I would love to see you over in the Facebook group, Productivity for Women Entrepreneurs. Until next week, have a fabulous day. Much love.